Good morning everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Minasan konnichiwa. Welcome to the Friday Coaching Corner. Today I am inspired by a question received by a client. I am coaching currently French families moving to the US, also Japanese moving to the US, and Americans moving to Paris, actually, currently. For those of you who don't know, I am a cross-cultural trainer and I help basically expats moving from a country to another and adjusting to the new environment for the whole family, for the accompanying spouse, for the working spouse, and also for children. And today I received a question from a French accompanying spouse in the US. Am I normal to long for friendships? Is it normal to feel lonely? This person just moved to the US 5 months ago and she feels like she's not normal because she wants to meet people, she wants new relationship, new friendships, and yet she feels like she's the only one needing that. What I told her is that it's totally normal for different reasons, and that's the goal for this life today, is for you not to feel alone and for you to understand that we all have the same wish of belongingness. That's part of human nature. If you don't know the Maslow pyramid, have you heard of the Maslow pyramid? The first need is primary goal. Our primary needs is to have food, to have food, to be able to drink. It's our survival needs, right? As a human being, we need to sleep, to eat, right? And then there is a second layer, the second need, which is safety. We need a house, we need to feel safe. That's why when we move abroad, we need to know where to do grocery shopping, we need to buy a house or rent a house, we need to know our kids, how they can be well established in a good school, right? We need to know where are the doctors, hospitals. This all are the foundation of the Maslow pyramid. You can Google it, you can find it. Okay, and then comes the third layer, third need, which is the belongingness. We all need, as a human being, to feel belongingness. And depending on one person or another, it will look like something different. For one person, it will be about being surrounded by tons of friends and going to social events all the time. For another person, it will be just finding one or two friends that I can meet sometimes, have a coffee. But saying that we don't need anybody, it's not true. As a human being, we need people. And I had a question today about, so the working spouse was also here, and he told me, but there are some expats who just their goals is only to discover new places and they don't really care about meeting new people. I believe that's not true. I believe that, yes, perhaps our goal can be our first goal when we go abroad, when we move abroad. Perhaps it is to discover new places, to experience new things. Perhaps our initial goal is not necessarily to meet people. However, we need, it's the Maslow pyramid, is about our needs. Even though it's not something we desire, we need as a human being to have a support system. When we move abroad, something we need to understand is we quit our family. Okay, sometimes we don't have a good relationship with our family, so it's a good thing, but we have our family, we have our friends in our country, right? And so when we move to a new place, we need to recreate a second family or a support system. It is the same thing when we move from a city to another. We have the same challenges when we move from Paris to Montpellier, if we move from Florida to Texas. I mean, it doesn't have to be abroad, right? When we move abroad, there are additional challenges to that, because especially if we have the language barrier, we want to feel comfortable in the language in order to meet new people. It doesn't mean we have to be fluent, we have to be bilingual in order to take actions. Not at all. In fact, my advice is always you can do both in parallel. You can take English lessons. If it's in the US, for example, you can take English lessons while also going to events, finding meetup groups, finding Facebook groups, actually going to some events, because I really believe that by taking actions, by just jumping in the water, by stepping out your comfort zone, that's the best way for you to improve your English. So don't wait to feel comfortable in the language in order to meet people, but just do both in parallel, I would say. And you don't have to take lessons. You can also choose the path of, okay, I'm going to learn and improve my English by doing different activities. There are different ways, of course, depending on people. There are different ways to improve your language. It's through lessons, but also through listening to podcasts, radio, going to some events, reading books. I mean, there's tons. So just find what works for you. It's like everything in life. I can give you any advice. What you're going to take away from my life today is what resonates with you, okay? What resonates with you. I hope that at least you have one key takeaway from this live. Let me know in the comments what do you think, what do you feel about my share today. But just to summarize and to answer the question from my client today, and I'm sure a lot of you have the same question, is yes, it is normal when we move from a city to another, from a country to another. It is normal to feel lonely because we left our family, we left our friends. And especially as an accompanying spouse, it is normal to feel lonely because our working spouse, even if he moved from a country to another, he has his co-workers. Every day he sees people, even if they're not friends. He doesn't feel lonely the same way as we do as an accompanying spouse. That is why it's so important to take actions, to meet people, to do some research, to try new activities perhaps, to invite other people, someone you meet in the grocery store, exchange number and invite the person for a coffee, and try, and perhaps it won't become a friend right away, or it won't be the right person, but keep trying, and believe me, trust me, you will meet wonderful people, wonderful friends. In the 8 past years being in the US, I've met so many wonderful people. I met wonderful friend in Rochester, New York when I lived 8 years ago, and after 1 year we left. Wonderful friends that we are still friends now. Very, very dear friends to my heart. They will recognize themselves if they listen to this live. And they moved to Canada. Another very good friend couple, they moved to another city in the US, but we still keep in touch. And now in Florida also I have wonderful friends. And it's important to give the chance to the people, also keep trying, and also to realize that we cannot be friends with all expats, right? We cannot be friends with all French. We cannot be friends with all Japanese, and it's okay. And I have different groups of friends in French and Japanese, and from my public speaking group, from my theater crew. I mean, we create our environment when we choose to, when we choose to make friends, we can make friends. Everything is possible, no matter what language you speak. So keep taking actions. You're not alone. And by the way, I have the Expat Club if you want to join a community of expats from all around the world. We have an Expat Club also, so you don't feel alone in your different challenges. Every month I come live. I give you a different learning opportunity on either cross-cultural topics or on well-being topics, mindset topics, and also you have access to a guest speaker who share with you their experiences about expatriation. Our next guest will be Christina Rebuffet, amazing woman. She's American, she lives in France, and she's going to share with us her experience of, living abroad for many years and what helped her to live a successful expatriation. And yes, so I will put the link below the video. Sending you lots of love. Have a great weekend. Bon week-end à tous. 皆さん良い週末を。さようなら。